Hey, friends and family. Welcome to Marcie Creates. This is Marcie, and welcome to episode 10 of Beading with Color Confidence. Today, we are going to be talking about monochromatic color schemes. So, a monochromatic color scheme is using just one color in all its beautiful shades. And as you can see here, I have an array of violet or purple beads, and I have arranged them from dark to light. We have different finishes. So we've got some really pretty crystals, some table cut beads with a little bit of a pattern, and rondelles, some clear crystal beads. We have some fiber optic beads, some kind of shiny coated beads. So, and pearls, of course, clear beads. I wanted to pull a wide variety because that's what creates a lot of interest when you're doing a monochromatic palette. And the reason I'm doing dark to light is we're also going to be doing an ombre pattern. And an ombre pattern is uh, moving through the shades of light to dark or dark to light. And so we're sticking with one hue, but you play in a monochromatic uh, design, you're going to stick with the same hue, but you're going to play with its value, its saturation, and its finish. So it looks very cohesive because you're in the same hue. Um, why this works? It's clean, elegant, and harmonious. It's easy to coordinate. It allows you to play with the shape and the texture and the size, and anybody can do this. If you're a beginner, this is a great way to make a design. Even if you're advanced, it's great to play with as well. So all you have to do is pick whatever color, hue that you want, and go through your stash and pull different, finishes. Some are clear, some are opaque. The fiber optic beads are neat because they have that glow to them. We have pearls that are so luminescent. We have matte versus shiny. We have sparkly. Then you have clear, different shapes. These are cube shaped. We've got table cut, kind of a leaf kind of shape. And of course, round beads. Look at these really pretty table cut flowers. And they're just so light, so see through. So it's a lot of fun to pull these. I had a lot of fun. Now, in working with an ombre design, uh, when you're trying to go from dark to light or vice versa, sometimes the values are really, really close. And so I have a trick for you to kind of work on that if you're having trouble deciding. And I actually haven't sorted these completely yet because I wanted to show you something. So what I did is I took a picture with my smartphone of all the beads in their trays, and then I edited the pictures so that they are black and white. Because when you do a black and white photo, now you're just looking at the value, which is the light to dark of the bead. And so if I kind of set these, they're all different sizes, but if I set these out, you can see, actually, this one is a duplicate. So you can see the values only in your beads. And so you can adjust. So like, see, these beads look darker than the rest of the beads. So they really need to be moved over here. These almost look black, this tray right here. I think we have a good dark mix here. And then this is more of just the next tone down. And that's these beads right here. If I look at this tray in particular, see, these beads are much darker than these beads. So I am actually going to move these over to the next tray. And this is really helpful when you're doing an ombre because you can just do 3 like levels of tone or tint, but the more variety you can get in the grayscale, as they say, which is the amount of different tones you have through the dark and the light, the more intricate the ombre looks. So if I move these should be more mid-tone, and these are closer to these. And if you hold the picture up, you can see these clearly work better in this tray versus these beads. And I could probably even move these, but oops, well, I just dropped one. I'll move it over. So a couple of the foil beads I moved as well. Now I am going to keep kind of these marbled beads because they have a lot of light colors in them, and I don't think they're too jarring. They go great with the fiber optic. So we'll do that. I think that this tray looks pretty good, this one. And if I put these beads next to it, there is a slight difference. It's close though. It's real close. But I think especially the pearls look darker to me than these. These are all very clear beads, very milky. And then here are our lightest beads, which is this tray back here. So this is very helpful if you're trying to do an ombre pattern. And it's a nice little trick to do to help your eye. Sometimes it's hard to tell. So I wanted 5 levels, if you will, from dark to light. And I think I've accomplished that here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to undo some of these strands that I had laid out just so I have all the beads loose. And I am going to lay out a pattern, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. We're going to be doing a 2-strand necklace, but there's going to be a twist, literally and figuratively. So I hope that's piqued your interest. So when I get back, I will have these organized and we will work on our ombre pattern. All right, I did want to mention too, I have white beads for the very end of this, and you can do that as well. Um, you know, this is a clear bead, but I think when it reads through our dark to light, it's going to look really nice. And I have these, let me put them on here. These are our findings. These really light purple drooks. And then this will be our last bead in our strand. So very watery looking. So the next step would be the white, or not. I mean, you don't have to do that. But I think when you're doing a monochromatic, it's okay to add a little white at the end. And these have an aurora borealis. Words are hard. Aurora borealis finish. So they're going to pick up in the light some of that violet hue. So I think, you can get away with that. Just a little note. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. If you want to stick strictly to the hue. But just for the interest of the design of the necklace, I did add that. I just want to add that note. We do have a double barrel clasp and some crimp beads. And then I'm going to be using SoftFlex purple amethyst color medium beading wire. This is going to be a 2-strand necklace, sorry. I have some bead stoppers, and now both strands are going to be exactly the same, and then we're going to talk about the twist. But I'm going to do the first strand on camera, but the second strand I'm going to do off camera. It's going to be exactly like the first, so I don't want to make this video super long. So I'm now going to decide how long I want this, and I think I'm going to cut a little extra so I have room to, in case I need to do any adjusting at the end, I have plenty of wire. So you can measure this or you can eyeball it. It's up to you. I'm one of those eyeball kind of people. Unless I'm following a certain, design or pattern where they've specified what length. I just kind of eyeball it. That's just me. And I'll put the second strand aside because I'm going to do that off camera. So before I start stringing, I'm going to lay out how I want to string this. And my thought also is to do larger beads in the middle and then graduate out to light. Both strands are going to be the same. And I know it seems strange. You're probably looking at this and thinking, why isn't she going dark to light? Well, I am, but I'm doing the dark in the middle because of our twist. And then I'm going to fan out with the lighter colors. So the very ends of these are going to be the very, very light and the dark. And then we're just going to move our way out. So I think these might be too big. Looking at these rondelles. So I'll probably save them maybe for some earrings to do a companion strand. So I think I'm going to do smaller beads. These are all going to be. Oh, and the other thing is we're going to do somewhat of a pattern. Just so when I mirror everything. So the key here too is make sure that you have enough of your whatever it is you're using. So I'm going to mirror on the bottom what I'm doing on the top, just so I know I have enough beads for both strands. Because I don't know about you, but I sometimes, that's a rondelle, miscount. So this is a good way to double check yourself and make sure you have enough, because there's nothing worse than coming up with an idea and then you're missing one bead, or, not a big deal when you're doing an asymmetric design, but when you're doing something symmetrical, you don't want to miss out, because you are missing some. Now, so these are the dark beads. I'm going to go into the next set over, and I think those read pretty light, but let me just grab one of these. These are the ones that I moved over from the other tray when we were looking at our black and white photo. And I want to change up also some shapes. Let me make sure I have enough cubes. I don't. We're not going to use those then. Oh, let's do our table cut beads. I love these. So these are a little bit different shape. So as you can see, I'm playing with some shapes, and I'm playing with the finishes. So maybe we'll do some pearls. These are more opaque. All right, let's go to our next set. I think that's really neat to add the pearls. Do I have more pearls of this size? I don't. Gonna have to wait on that. Yeah, I just pulled from my stash as I was going, and oh, I like that. Let's do that. I think we have enough. Okay, and then maybe let's do a fiber optic. I just think these are cool looking. And then let's do some of these these have a really pretty finish, these little, I guess they're drops. Maybe, oh, I only have 2 of these, so let's pass on those. Now, you're not going to be exact with, oops, you know what? I want to add some more pearls. Let's do 3 pearls. I have plenty of those. I can't wait for you to see the twist. It's going to be fun. I was excited about this video. I'm excited about all videos, but when I was planning this one, I was like, this is going to be neat. Okay, so now let's do some fire polish. So we're heading into a lighter. We're heading into this next group here. Doing some fire polish in kind of a, and we may adjust as we go. And it's not going to be exact with the sizes, but I would just want to taper off at the end. You'll see. I just think visually it'll look really cool with our little twist we have coming up. I need one more fire polish. I think I have one. Yes, I do. Yay! All right, so you can see dark to light is happening. I love these little flat table cut. Those are fun. Let's see. I do want to use these drooks, but not quite yet. Those are going to be towards the end here. All right, here's some bicones. We'll do 3 of those. I have plenty of those. Let's do 3 over here. Sorry if I'm a little off camera, but this side looks just like this side. All right. And then we'll do our drooks. 3 of those. We'll look at this in just a minute and adjust if need be. There's plenty of beads to choose from, so if I want to fine tune something, I can definitely do it. You know, if you have a bead board too that has straight lines, that you could do it on the bead board. I just do it on this. Let's do our fire polish with this is the clear with the AB finish. And this is how we're going to finish off the necklace at the very end. So it does pick up, you know, some of those purple tones. All right. All right, so let's take a look and see if we want to change anything. So I think I want to do three of these in the middle, and I want to add some rondelles. I think I want to change that up. Let me make sure I have enough of the rondelles before I do that. I do. These are amethyst rondelles. They're so pretty. So let's put those there. Slide that over. Just want a different variety right there. And a concentration of the dark beads. These are seeming a little big to me. Maybe, let me see if something else would look better. Here's a couple more rondelles, but they're clear. No, I think we'll leave them. I think they're interesting to look at. I like these. I'm not putting any spacers either. And the reason why is I don't want to break in the color for the ombre effect. So this is what we have. So we have dark to light. And I could probably fine tune this some more, but I like this. And we're going to go with that. So I'm just going to slide the second strand beads down just so I have room to work, but I'll keep them close by. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing with this strand that I'm doing with this top strand. All right. And now I'm just going to use my bead stopper so that I can string this one and nothing goes flying. So now we're literally going to just string everything. We'll take another look. And I just want to give a shout out to Terry K. She loves purple and she's always leaving me the nicest comments. And I know she's always worried that her comments aren't going to stick. But Terry, I just want to thank you for your kindness. And I thought about what color to use in this video, and I know you love purple. So shout out to you. And I picked these colors just for you. So thank you for all your kind words and your support, over the last few years. And Ginger sends you a little wag. For those of you who are new, Ginger's my little Chewini. We lost our dachshund Cha-Cha like a month and a half ago, and I miss her every day. But I still have my co-pilot Ginger around. Oh, this is turning out nice. And it's so fun to play with all the different, beads come in such variety of shapes and textures and finishes. It's just fun to just play with that, staying within the same family of color. And if you have a lot of one color, it's a great way to use up, that color if you have a lot of something. Also, gift giving season is upon us. And if you know someone who likes a particular color, this is a great way to create something for someone, like in Terry's case, purple. But maybe somebody loves green or blue. All that would be beautiful with this same idea. Okay, so now we're going back up we're at the center now. We're going back up oh, I need the rondelle. Going back to the light colors. Just want to make sure I'm mirroring this. I think some things got out of order when I was moving the beads, but that's okay. Just double check yourself. I don't think we were going to do pearl, but okay, fiber optic bead. I just love how these glow. I think they're also called cat's eye beads. They're so pretty, especially in this purple and or violet. You can use violet or purple to name this hue. It's the same, just different words for the same hue. These fire polish are really pretty too. I think these are 5mm, which is an interesting. Most things come in like 2, 4, 6mm, but fire polish comes in 5mm, which I think is kind of interesting. Anybody know why that is? Let me know in the comments. I don't know why that is, but it's interesting. I think other beads come in 5mm, but not very many. Okay. Almost done. It's quick. It's a quick workup too. I think sorting the beads and making sure you have the values right is probably the most lengthy part of this. Stringing it really takes no time. as you can see. Okay, so plenty of room. We could add more beads, but I'm not going to. Oh, at the end of this video too, I'm going to put this on a bust so you could see it hanging as if somebody was wearing it, because I got comments that you all liked that at the last video, so I'm going to continue to do that. All right, so I'm going to be back with the second strand, and then I'll show you the twist. Okay, so we're ready to put our necklace together. Full disclosure, I did add more beads. I realized that I needed more length for this twist that I'm going to talk about. So I added more mid-range beads and more of the dark. So you do want a pretty, if you want it to hang low on you or whoever you're making this for, yeah, I think you need a little bit longer than what I had made originally. Fortunately, the beads were already organized, so it was very easy just to add to those mid ranges. But as you can see, the ombre is really pretty. Isn't that beautiful? Now you could string this just like this, okay? There's nothing wrong with, just doing it straight like this. But I wanted to show you the twist. And the twist is we're going to use this barrel clasp. And I'm going to show you in a drawing. Oops, let me move one over. We're going to work with one strand at a time. Okay. Let me grab some paper really fast because I want to show you what we're talking about here. So just move that over. You could, so with the barrel clasp, it's got the two little loops. You could do a strand and then a strand, just like this. But we are going to do a strand, and then we're going to loop the other strand that way. And then you can twist it. So that's the twist I was talking about. So how do you do that? Well, you work with one strand first, and normally you would attach one strand to the bottom and one strand to the top of these two holes here. Pardon me. But you're going to do one strand here. We're going to loop the other strands through that strand, and then we're going to attach on this side. So let's do that. So you do want plenty of wire when you're crimping so that you don't have to worry about running out of wire. You're going to put your crimp bead. And then it really doesn't matter which loop, but you want to do the same side for this strand. So I'm just going to do the bottom loop. And I did have a little extra wire, but that's okay. I'd rather have more wire than not enough. And we're going to crimp this. I'm keeping a pretty generous loop just because I think it's better. It's better for me to have a little more wire than not, and a little bigger loop than not. But do what's comfortable for you. So we have this attached right here on this side. We're going to add the other end on this side. So same side of the barrel clasp is basically how you're going to do this. So you're orienting your clasp a little bit differently, or your strands on your clasp, to do this technique. And a twisted necklace is called a torsade. So they can be multiple layers. And if the beads are twisted, it's called a torsade. And we're doing just like a modified one, but you could do like a 5-hole barrel clasp or a 3-hole. Really doesn't matter. But I am glad I added more beads, because when you do this technique, it does make the necklace kind of shorter. And so you have to take that into account. And when I initially was laying out the beads, I I didn't take that into account. So when I started stringing, I was like, oh, you know what? That I need to make that a little bit longer. So just simple crimps. I'm going to use some crimp covers off camera. It's just a finishing touch. Okay, so we have our one strand on the one side of the barrel clasp, just like this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our second strand and we're going to loop it. Let me move this over. I'm just going underneath this, okay, so that now they're hooked to each other like that. Oops. And I like to keep the barrel clasp together. I think it's easier to do this. And now we're going to attach both these strands for this necklace on this side of the barrel clasp. So each strand has its own side versus doing each strand at the top loop and the bottom loop. And this is what's going to keep it together in this kind of twist down here pattern. And it'll look, when I get it on the bust, you'll see what I'm talking about. But oops. And I do always pull extra crimps because I'm always dropping one. It's not a video of mine if I'm not dropping things. So I'm sure I'm not alone. So and again, it doesn't matter. You know, you've done both ends the same way. So I'm just going to do the bottom on this side. And, you know, your loops are going to be, you want to get them as close as possible to the same size, but of course they're not going to be perfect, but they should work as close as you can, you know, as close as you can. It's not going to be perfect, but I think I need to just come up a little with that. Really, it's on the back, so you just want them as even as you can. I don't think I crimped that quite right. Okay. And now we just have to do the top. So let's add our crimp. To grab that. This is kind of a fun way, you know, a different way, and especially with an ombre pattern, I think it's fun to have this little bit of a twist, pun intended, in the design, and it really does play up the mirroring of the beads and the gradation in color in that same monochromatic hue. So it plays all that up when you're doing a design like this. All right. All right. So now both our strands are hooked into each other right here. So what's nice about that is if you want to twist it and make it more twisty, you can do that. Like you can twist these before you put it on, I mean. And then you can twist this other side. Just like that. So I'm going to get this on a bust and I'll twist it so you can see. But as you can see, we've got our dark to light, which is really cool. The ombre in the same hue. So stay tuned for this being on a bust and we'll finish up. Okay, everybody. So here is the finished necklace. You can see we've got our dark all the way to the light. And I'm in my backyard and I did a little twist of the beads, but you can see they're hooked together at the bottom here. So it's a really fun way to do a double strand necklace that is not typical. And I love the ombre in the violet hue. I think it turned out really nice. So ombre is a great way to use a monochromatic palette, which, as I said before, is all one color, but different, different textures, different shapes. Some beads are clear, some beads are, opaque. We've got different finishes, different shapes. All of that works together beautifully because of the same hue. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And Ginger's walking around. Hi, Ginger. I'll show you a little picture of her wandering around. But I did want to get this out before it got dark because 4:45, it's dark. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great week. Be kind to yourselves. Take care of yourselves and your families and be safe. And I will see you on the next video. Take take good care. And here comes Ginger. Hey, Ginger. Hey, sweetheart. You want to say hi to everybody? Why are you looking away? Hello. Hi. Where you going? She's being shy. I got you in your bed. Excuse the mess, guys. But she was being really shy outside. Hi, baby. You gonna say hi to everybody's? Why are you shaking, honey? You don't like my camera, do you? Next to her is a box of clothes I'm getting rid of. I keep getting rid of clothes. And then we have shredding behind her. So we're in flux, as they say. Ginger, honey. You doing okay, baby? Say hi to everybody's. Say, no, I'm shy. All right, I'll leave you alone.